Psychotechnologies
Psychotechnologies Live.
Live. Welcome to the most special episode of Psychotechnologies Live. This one is we're doing this is our 100th episode, our number 100th episode, I should say. And we're gonna go back and we're gonna look at everything that we've done and just talk about past moments. It's like one of those like recap episodes where we, just like look back and review our stuff. So for if you've listened to every single episode and you're already like kind of get it and you just want something new, then skip it. But if you want to hear us like go back and see what it was like, then this is the episode for you.
Most embarrassing moments, maybe.
Well, we didn't go through and clip it all because that's too
Well,
much,
we got
but
like
we're
a
gonna go through and see what we remember.
yeah.
I'll start. So I just like both like while Eliot was like telling me stuff. I instead of listening to him, I looked at the first episode and we didn't even do the Psychotechnologies live thing yet, right? Like that was like something that we like came
Oh,
up with at some other point. Yeah, I was just looking back at us and we're just like kind of hanging out and I'm like moving all over the place, like unable to sit still, and my face is all swollen more before I did keto.
well, we didn't really know what we were gonna. We didn't know what psychotech would be yet. We would just like
Yeah,
try it and see where we end up, and then
yeah,
it took like 10 or 15 episodes before we got like a structure of let's keep going and like this is what it's gonna be like, and we're gonna keep doing it.
yeah, yeah. I think we were just like hanging out with the camera and like seeing what that felt like. But I was listening and it's like some good stuff. There's like some parenting things. It was like good. I was like, yeah, good job, Daniel. It's good philosophy.
Mm, interesting. So that's wait. So we're talking. You're talking episode one.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, oh,
And
that's right. Episodes. So the first few episodes, we were also still working out like notes and chaptering. So
yeah,
that was took a while before it cleared out, and we got into our rhythm. And we also started really long. Like I don't know, if you ever look at like the art you did in like first grade, it's like, oh yeah, it's not adult worthy art. I feel a bit like that looking back. Um,
yeah.
yeah,
I knew that was gonna happen at the time.
yeah, yeah, of course. But we had to go forwards through that. There's no cheating.
Yeah,
Like a bad art phase of childhood.
yeah.
Ah, the music lesson. I remember reading that book. I actually suggested that book to someone this week. So I'm looking at the description for episode one. I'm like,
Oh yeah, I forgot we do descriptions.
yeah. Um, yeah, I think we were just jamming out in the beginning, hanging out and talking about things.
Oh Jesus, the whole description is like it's like a Megillah. Like you did you did breaks every like 2 minutes, it seems.
Yeah, rather than I'm a bit more eased up about it now, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm not
The
trying to like
dishwasher. That was when we did the dishwasher metaphor.
which one?
The
What's that?
right mindset of doing the dishes. We've talked about that a whole bunch of times.
Have I don't remember.
Yeah, yeah. We the right relationship with doing the dishes is to like there's a wrong relationship which is to be grumpy about having to do the dishes all the time.
Mm,
And then there's a healthy one which is like uh I get to do the dishes. I'm helping my other people in my house that with this like little act of kindness, I get to do a nice thing. And that's like,
yeah.
there's a way to live in the wrong relationship and to be miserable, and there's a way to live in the right relationship and to really enjoy the experience or get to
Yeah.
experience, which is much healthier, I think, to live.
Yeah. I remember being like super like hedgy about that at the beginning. I'm like, no, guys, like I think spirituality can also be in your everyday life. And like I know it's crazy, but like it's this far out idea of like, like actually finding your life meaningful.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, cool. All right. That
All
is
right,
that
next one.
episode one. Do we leave that there and then look at episode two?
Yeah.
Oh, I said Jenga. Wait, one more. I said Jenga Tower of the Mind, which still like it's a metaphor I use these days. Sort of like if your our psyche, our modern present moment psyche is built on all of our entire lifetimes of psyche, like everything that happened to us, and also the psyches of everyone who taught us what we know. And so our Jenga tower of our psyche is kind of off balance. And so doing a bit of meditative and self-reflective work is to go back there and to like straighten up the tower. And then interesting things happen as we go. If we straighten up a really low, really young developmental thing, the rest of the tower might like shake a lot in trying to like touch up the tower. Anyway, that's one of my metaphor I still use today.
You remember this a lot better than I
Yeah,
do.
well, I know my metaphors. These are my metaphors.
Oh, you got go-tos.
Yeah.
So I just live life in the moment, in the being in the
Okay.
present. So
All
like
right.
I don't need things. I'm just here.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. All right. That was episode one.
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
No, oh, that was episode one. Yeah.
Yeah, that was all that we did. I mean, that was a 2 hour long episode. In the early days, they were 2 hours long.
I think some of them were longer than that.
Yeah, we got up to 3 hours in at some point, but we'll get
Yeah,
there.
I actually do enjoy the 2.5 hours. But it does make sense like for guests and stuff too, for fatigue
Mm.
for like the 1.5.
Yep. All right, episode.
Um, yeah, episode two. This is like a lot. Like each of these have like a ton of just like a ton of different stuff that we touch on. It's like
I
very
think we were just
streaming. It's this
in the
locus.
beginning we were bouncing around so hard that we touched on so much stuff. Later on, we like picked a model and we stuck to it for an episode, like the Fetters or something. But right in the beginning,
Yeah.
we were like, let's just bounce around and like see where we get at.
Yeah, I just want to be on. I'm like, if we just go on and like we'll figure it out as we go. Like, I
Mm,
don't want to like, yeah, it's like back in the day, it was like very stuck. Like, and this is the thing I see a lot. Like people get very stuck in like the planning stage.
mm,
And like so planning is like good, but like no plan survives first contact.
right.
So like you kind of just want like a general plan, make sure you're not gonna like die. And then just do the stuff and then you'll see like your whole salience landscape changes and you get a like you actually collect a lot of information.
I think in this like episode two, I brought in a bunch of uh, metaphysical health stuff. So like Louise Hay, and I have a book, Metaphysical Anatomy, and I sort of talked about those. But like the spiritual story behind certain diseases,
Yeah,
which
you were very into that at the beginning.
I have definitely eased up on that since I used to be a lot more extreme, and now I hold it a
You
lot.
were like you were just like harping on that. I'm like, look, I don't like that stuff. Like
Yeah, I
there's
mean,
no evidence, there's no way for me to
no,
interact
no,
with
no,
it, there's no way
yeah,
for
it's particularly
testing.
low evidence in terms of belief structures, but also there is a pattern there. It feels like a real pattern.
Yeah, so I like these patterns as like metaphors and stuff like cancer as in like just like growth without limits.
Mm,
Immune responses as in like overly sensitive to danger.
yeah, or like
And so like mhm,
feeling attacked. It's the other, yeah.
sure, yeah. And so like I love those correlations. But like being like, oh well, like if you have cancer, then just stop growing is like
Well, it
eh.
doesn't work like that, unfortunately. Tell the
Yeah.
cancer to stop it, and that'll do it.
Yeah. Like,
Not so simple for most people to be able to like. No one can talk. We don't have like a clear line of communication to ourselves, other than by like
yeah.
trying to talk to them and seeing if that lands.
Yeah. Just have you tried telling your cancer cells to stop growing so much? Like,
Right.
just like sit down, have a talk, a little meditation, and then, yeah. So like for me, it's like yeah, like there's obviously I really like the ideas of like the fractals. So like there's like the things that happen on the cells structures, like the same thing that happens in like interpersonal stuff, the same thing that happens intercivilizational, right? Like there's a lot of like a lot of this stuff is like there's like universal patterns and when you start to learn them you get to see them on all the different scales,
Mm,
but so I do like that as like descriptions and like metaphors and interactions, but yeah, like the like coming off at as like as if it's like a cure or like helpful is like very sketchy to me.
mm. Yeah, yeah, I get it. And also, it's a really useful model in a bunch of ways that I'm not ready to completely delete, but to the extent that it can
Yeah.
make things feel workable, like I appreciate that.
Yeah. Maybe a little more in like the drawing board. Or we should probably flesh that out one day, like have that fight online.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, it's
And you were
also
super into fascia back in the days.
I'm still into fascia. I'll tell you. Let me show you. Let me just, there you go. That's my golf ball. It lives under my chair here, and I'm like rolling my feet and like playing with the golf
For the
ball.
plantar fasciitis.
I don't have any plantar fasciitis or anything. It's just like it's nice, feels nice to stretch out the feet a bit with the golf ball. But I keep them
Sure, yeah.
at my desk, so still have that.
So you can make
Been
yourself
getting,
feel good under the
I've been
table
getting
while
the people around me to do it. Like I can like put my heel on a golf ball and stand on it, and the people around me think that's nuts. And
that's so painful.
it is not painful at all. It has zero pain.
Oh,
Work through the fascia, and then your feet aren't tight anymore. But
oh. Well, your heel?
yeah, absolutely. Dead middle of the heel. There is zero pain there. I mean, like, there's like a occasion. Eventually, there's a dull thing that is probably just like, oh yeah, eventually too much weight ends up feeling like a dull pain. But there is nothing
Yeah.
sharp there at all.
I stepped on a die the other day, like a
Huh.
little dice, and it killed. Like
Yeah. I
it
mean, like, I also walk barefoot everywhere, so it's useful for me to have a stretched out foot. But
my
also,
foot
like,
was hurting for like a week.
yeah, what? Like, stretch that out, man. You could be way more comfortable if that was fully stretched
I
out.
don't think it's a stretchy thing. Like I have had like the stretch stuff where it's like has been like
Okay,
that,
we're gonna have to
but
flesh
like
that
this isn't
this
something
whole thing
that's
out on an episode as well.
yeah, yeah. Let's do an episode where we fight about like fascia because like I got shit to say about fascia too,
All right,
but I
I'm
think
gonna
you
think of
kind
it
of like and
metaphysical.
then the diseases stuff like because like I think it's just I want to like pull up my rational card at some point do
Okay.
that,
I
but
mean,
I think we need to like kind of move or we're gonna we're not gonna make it.
it might have to be 2 episodes of review. I'm sorry. This is just like, all right, what's the
Oh,
next?
do you want to like we'll just like have like a 10 episode
Yeah, yeah,
review or
keep going. So episode 3. Let's look at what was in episode 3.
yeah, that's when it turned to chazaka. So in
Ah,
Judaism, if you do 3 times in a row, it becomes a chazaka. Like that's it becomes a tradition essentially.
right. Reform the tradition.
And I was still recording it on my computer.
Ah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, we went through a couple of buggy sort of stuff.
Yeah, and we haven't edited it. There's still like a us.
Whatever.
There's like still like at least like a minute of us just like trying to figure out what's going on with the recording.
Dreams of like video editing is very hard and takes a bunch of time. And there are dreams of like, oh, we'll go and touch these up and fix them up, but might never happen. Um,
Well, we could like because like we figured out with the YouTube, you can cut the beginning and the end pretty easily.
right. Oh, base reality. This is I still use this. This is like still in my mind about I talk to people about this. They're like, even yesterday I was talking about this, that we live in a base model of reality. Like there's just most people in our society have grown up with the scientific method, and the reality is made out of atoms, right? And that's fine, except that there's other ways to see. Like the ground of reality can be all psychological, all psyche. Like Jungian perspective taking, it's very much the ground is first psychological and secondary, like a scientific model and atoms. And that's
Yeah.
quite a shift to make. But it sort of changes things to have more than one workable base model.
Yeah. Is it like neurology, psychology is like the base of reality, or is like physics the base of reality?
Right. And there's other ones too. There's like religions is base of reality with science
Yeah.
of religion. You can do that pretty easily. There's a whole bunch of them. But just the possibility that we're influenced by our base reality perspective is a pretty powerful one.
Yeah. I feel like the integral stuff
Well, integral is
kind of
take many perspectives. Base reality
yeah.
take many perspectives, which is kind of
It's
neat.
like, oh, if you think your base reality is this, then you're here. And if you think it's here, then it's here. And it's
Call
just
it
kind of like,
cosmic address. Like what is your base reality, and therefore what is the the how do we map ourselves to you based on your cosmic address?
How do I talk to you? Yeah,
Yeah.
mapping ourselves is like a little, I think, weird because I think like you got to map yourself based off of yourself, but like if you want to talk to people, then you got to learn their language.
This list is so long. We went through everything. There's like stock trading here and like constellation therapy, which I finally got to do way after this
Oh
episode.
yeah, constellation therapy. I forgot the word. I wanted to do that.
Yep. Subject matter
Sounds like fun.
experts, universe stuff. Making a board. We never made the board game. We were gonna make a psychotech board game. It never happened.
What board game? What was the idea?
It was right at the end of the episode. Just uh
Oh yeah, constellation family. A deck for each emotion. Oh, dude, I still think about that stuff. Yeah, I still think about that. I think about it like in relation to tarot, because like in making your own tarot deck, it wouldn't be tarot, it's called angel cards, but
yeah.
if you like don't do it official, but essentially like you're just doing yeah, like you can do like all the emotions, you can do all the stuff, like you can do like all these different levels and then see what happens. Oh, dude, I think about that stuff all the time, yeah.
Mm,
And like having parties where like everybody like does a thing and they can like, we have to act like it or something or whatever, like, you know.
okay.
Yeah, I
Board.
think about that a lot.
All right, should we go episode 4?
Yeah. So I thought it was episode 4 that was the one, but I think it's episode 5.
Which one?
Oh, I think episode 5 is my favorite. But yeah,
Ah,
we could do
really?
4.
Mm, okay. Episode 4. Oh yeah. That was when do we have a date? When's the date? Date of first publishing.
Did we talk about COVID?
Yeah. Episode 4, December 29, 2021. So that must have been a year into COVID anyway. Yeah, I think that's right. In Australia, we were going through some lockdowns and they were suddenly like shut down. And I remember this. I was frustrated with some of the like, I suddenly find myself
Oh yeah.
like, you can't go out of the house or stuff like that. Or, I don't,
Yeah, Australia was crazy with that.
I mean, lots of countries did different types of lockdown styles, but this was like sort of being hit in the face with it and then like trying to grapple with my frustrations about this thing. Yeah, which we've all experienced for everyone in the world kind of experienced these things.
Oh, we talked about John Gottman. Interesting.
Yeah, yeah. Turn towards, turn away. I've been telling you that stuff for years.
No, that's like a big part of the marriage, right? Like we do that all the time, like bids.
Yeah,
Sometimes we even do like we'll just say like I'm not rejecting your bidding, I'm rejecting this specific bid.
right. Yeah, I mean, I think about that even also this week. I've been thinking about like how do I say no to the thing while saying yes to life?
Yeah.
Some sort of like no thank you, but yes, I appreciate you as a person, and also no thank you to this thing.
Yeah. I think oh yeah, we were still into like the mundane stuff like taking out the garbage. But I think it's like yeah, there's like a lot of stuff you can do. There's like negotiations and there's like rebidding. Right, like if somebody says, "Hey, do you want to watch a movie tonight? How about tomorrow night? I can't tonight. What about tomorrow night?"
Right.
Then it's like you're not rejecting them. You're just like logistics. So
Mm,
like yeah, it's like a lot of it I think is trying to keep you're trying to keep at least the way I see it, which may not even be right. It's like you're trying to keep things as they are. So like whatever you're rejecting, like reject that. Don't reject things
mm.
that you're not rejecting.
Oh, I can also see alarms in our psyche, which is cool. That's a lot of our sensation functions as alarm clocks. And then when we don't like our sensation or our emotions, we try and kind of like leave the room without the alarm clock going, as opposed to moving towards the sensation phenomena or experience
Yeah.
and turn off the alarm clock. So that
Yeah,
was
you were
episode
really
4. Still
really
into
into
that.
that.
I still tell
Yeah,
people that.
you're still into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're starting to chill a little bit on that though.
Oh, but it's
Um,
still there. It's like it's still useful. But yeah, all right.
yeah. Yeah, but I think before you were like, oh, there's a noise I'm going towards that, another noise, and you're kind of just like, you got more like moving just towards things that exist. And I
Mm,
think now you're taking like a much more holistic, and you're like, oh yeah, these things are important, and also
mm.
I don't have to respond to every single thing every time it happens.
I don't know about that. I think I do. I'm like,
Okay.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
maybe I'm just hopeful. Maybe that was
Respond. It's
overly
also like
hopeful.
at the beginning of finding alarm clocks, there's just a lot of alarm clocks currently going off, and it feels like the world is on fire. And so it feels unhelpful to like turn off alarm clocks. But also after doing that for a while, there are just less alarm clocks. And so there's less alarm clocks to turn off. And so there's still a few, but it's like life isn't so urgent because
Yeah.
not everything feels like it's on fire.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I think that's super like that's like my meditation habit is like it's just you're just sitting there and then things come up and you deal with them.
mm, right, we gotta move on. We gotta move on to the next episode.
Okay, now who wants to move
Yeah,
quick?
yeah, yeah. Well, they're not gonna. It's just like 5 minutes per episode isn't gonna get very far.
Yeah, I'm the one that said that. You're the one that's like and then we had like a short bonus stream. I don't remember what happened with that, but something about the
The
recording.
connection cut off.
Okay.
So
And we
it's
just decided to keep it because why not?
being a translator. I'm still a translator for other people. Yeah, yeah. We just
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think that felt really good. It was like short, but it was like we just did a thing and then that was it.
yeah,
Um, yeah, era of psychotechnologies is upon us.
yeah. Oh, I like that one.
Dude, that was like when I'm like, well, I'm like not hedging anymore. Like fuck it. I'm just gonna be the crazy person who does the psychotechnology and like
Mm.
act like it's a real thing. Because like
Right.
why not? Like everybody else does it.
Well, there was like a commitment to like psychotechnologies when we started was barely a word, barely a word, and now it's like, yep. Now that we've talked about it for 100 episodes, we're building the field of psychotechnology. But this
Yeah.
episode 5 was when we first declared, like, it's gonna be psychotechnology, and it's gonna be this for a while.
Yeah. Yeah,
That
I still feel that way. I don't really talk to normies about it too much, but oh man, the other night I went out and I went to like a thing in Toronto and it was like this thing and like everybody puts in what they want to talk about and then the room gets divided up. So I put in psychotechnologies and
Mm.
then I was like kind of like running this little corner. I'm just like telling everybody about this stuff and people are talking and I'm like running this space and like nobody knew what it was before they came in, but then they were all like really into it. We talked for like 20 minutes or something
Nice.
and it felt awesome.
Okay, yeah, that was 5 was a good episode.
Yeah, that was when it was like we were fucking like screwing around, and then five, it's like, no, I am this person, and like this is what we're doing.
Wait. It's 5 and 6. I think we declared in 5 and continued the conversation in 6.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because I think five was like the declaration, and then
I
six would
think
have been
maybe
the
right at the
first.
end we declared
Well, six would have been the first.
living in the
Like
era. Yeah.
yeah, so like that's like the first real episode of Psychotechnologies Live, because like before that it was like screwing around, and then we were like, this is the transition, and then it's like, well, okay, like this is the world we live in.
Mm.
And like what is this brave new world that we're the first ones here?
I remember this episode. This was in episode 6. There was I did like evolution of shadow resolution with you.
Hmm?
This was like difficult work. There was uh ego resetting, ego development stuff. There was a knot.
What?
I remember working through this thing. I remember the shape of the thing. I don't remember what it was that we were working through. I remember the type of work it was. I don't remember the content.
Oh yeah, something happened.
Yeah, you were like frustrated or something, and I was like, it was like disempowerment or something. You were like, I was like, what did the world make you feel? And like, can you give that back? Something like that.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Projections, talking about projections, cold reading. This is good stuff. Oh man.
Oh
Oh,
yeah, because I was still struggling with It's like the stupid thing that everybody does. Everybody has to go through. It's like because like you see you like I was like I'm like one of those like ideologues. So like I really believe the things that I'm doing. And so like when I'm in this space and I see people do this stuff, I like take them super seriously.
Mm.
Um and then and then I'm like, well, do I am I allowed to do this?
Ah.
And it's like, who am I? Like I don't have credentials.
Mm.
And so there was like a very it's like very like get in your head and then I'm like, oh well, I'll just do it. Like, okay, like no, you know what? Fuck it, they're wrong. We're doing it. And then like, oh my God, like I'm Jesus now and like psychotechnology and then, like, and then you get like all kind of like knotted up.
I'm Jesus. It's kind of a dangerous phrase, but like that's all right.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. You know what I
I know
mean.
what you mean. I don't know if everyone else does, but
Yeah, everyone who like goes through like does something that was scary to them that's like no, like new, I
mm,
think goes through it because you become like a messiah figure, right?
right.
Um,
Mm,
but like, I mean, like, and so like for me, it's like, yeah, like I think I got nodded there, but this is pretty, this is pretty normal, right? Like, cause like you get stuck with something and then you get unstuck and like you've just saved yourself. And
mm,
now, like, when you're really down, you like create these like crazy stories of like getting saved. And then whoever saves you gets like that huge mantle, like put on the
mm.
pedestal. And
Interesting. If you
so
save
like
yourself, give yourself
yeah,
a.
yeah. So
Mm,
there's like a gap, like a jump there.
interesting.
Um,
All right.
yeah, I think it happens to everyone.
Episode seven.
Uh, wait 1 second. And so yeah, I think that's what happened with me with the nodding, and then we
Mm,
did that stuff.
okay. Do you remember episode seven? This is
Um,
we're talking like 2 years ago, and also like
oh yeah,
yeah, we're in January 2014. So yeah. Sorry, January 2022, January 14, 2020, January 12th, episode 7. Um, yeah, this is when I was still learning timestamps. Relationship with spiritual teacher. Hmm, it's interesting. Do we just talk about the same thing every episode? Is that like
we talk about the same kinds of things, but I don't. I think you at the beginning, like I think you repeated yourself a bunch. I don't
mm,
feel like I've ever really repeated myself, except like unless it's like been refined in some way.
mm,
Or I,
okay.
I say I'm repeating myself. I think. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, can psychotechnology help the boring parts of life? Yeah, that was still like very yeah, because like at the time I was going through, I was like, well, I'm like, I need this stuff so that I can live my life. Like, how do people even live their
Right.
lives? Like nobody knows, right?
Mm,
So I was like really leaning heavily on that.
mm. Okay, episode 8.
Episode 8, so locus of control.
Oh, nice. This is, I don't talk about this enough, but it's still there in my head. Like locus of attribution, really. Like, am I responsible for the problem, or is the rest of the world responsible for like my problem?
Well, it's like, yeah, I think, yeah, okay. So that I mean, I feel like that's different. Like for me, it's like very much like where does the power lie?
Right.
And like
But part
recently
of the
I've
power
been
is in like personal attribution. Like, where do I think the power lies? Kind of makes the power lie there a little bit more.
yeah, yeah, I guess that's that. Like for you, for me it was like a lot of for me it's like yeah, like a lot of it is it feels like everyone else has the power and the power's outside.
Mm.
And like you really want to be inside your own power because that's like the only place you can do something.
Right, I remember this. We used to start with like a conversation. We'd be chatting, and then we'd be like, "Oh, we should really stream," and then we'd like jump into a stream, and so we kind of like end up in all sorts of places because we sort of started in just hanging out and chatting until we felt like streaming.
That's still kind of what we do, I think. We
Uh,
just
we
we
kind of
go
these days
we
we have guests, but even before the guests, one of us shows up and says, "I want to talk about this model or this book I read or this phenomenon
yeah.
I found."
Yeah, so it still feels like it usually it's like I think we still do it, but like for me at least, like it felt like we just kept starting earlier and earlier and like
Mm,
trusting ourselves to figure it out. And then
yes.
so now it's like I want to talk about this, like okay. Like you just started the conversation by saying you want to talk about it, and now we're gonna stream.
Sometimes I'm
Um,
like, what do you mean about that? But in
yeah.
general, we start pretty quick.
Yeah, usually it's like I need like I just want to have like what's the first question I'm gonna ask.
Mm. Right, right, right.
So as
Okay,
soon as you say a thing and then I have a question, I'm like, okay, let's go. And I'll just
man
ask
with
a
a
question.
hammer syndrome. That was episode 8.
You love the hammer one,
I
and
do.
like I'll be honest, the story is starting to be like you with a man with a hammer.
I am the man with the hammer.
I
Absolutely.
yeah, but like your hammer is the hammer story, so it's like very meta.
That's great. It is. I am absolutely. The hammer story is
Yeah,
a
you
hammer.
gotta we gotta start doing episodes where you're not allowed to repeat anything you ever said.
Oh, I don't know how to do that.
I know. Good. It'll be good for you. Learn.
All right, tell me about episode 9 because this was a very different.
Ooh, what is game B initiation video? Oh my God, that was amazing. And I want to say so that we did that for 3 hours. I don't think we made it through the whole video even. I feel like really good. Like I said, a lot of this the stuff that I like, I think a lot when I watch videos and I was like said it
Mm,
on the internet. So I
mm,
felt really vindicating. And like honestly, now since that video, I feel like the stuff I'm saying, I didn't say it strong enough. Like I
mm.
hedged too much. When I
Uh,
was like, oh, this is so
uh,
stupid. Like especially like learning on like now it's like no, like they're like this not only is the story wrong. I said then the story was wrong and it's like causing problems. Now I'm like, no, this story that they're making is like manipulative and it's like it's really bad.
yeah, like I think at the time I was also not wanting to insult the Game B community. As it is, that episode still has 10 times as many views as the ones before or after it.
Yeah.
So like we were trying to tap into the Game B community to like
Yeah.
voice an opinion on their stuff. It was still a pretty impressive video, pretty impressive project that they put out. Like there's a lot of anime. There was a long animation video.
Yeah. Yeah. And like good for them for getting stuff together. Like that's good.
Mm.
Um, but like, yeah, like
I didn't
the
like the
game
telling of the story.
I don't like the story. It's not the telling of the story. I thought they told the story really nicely. I hate the story. Like
Oh, okay.
I
Like,
think it's just really bad. Like it's
that's
just like no, like we didn't live in peace. We lived in the jungle and we used
right,
to like murder each other. Like
right.
look at like gorillas or
There was never
chimpanzees.
a
Like
game B. It was always game
that's how
A
we
right
lived.
from the beginning.
Game A was an amazing invention. There was no game, it was just murder each other.
Right, right.
And
And it's
like
still kind of
murder the
some weird
offspring.
version of we're still in game A, even though we're talking about considering game B. It's just game A in a different way.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's like lots of stuff. But I think like one of the things I realized, I think since then, is
Mm,
that it's like Jim Rott's thing, right? So it's like a guy and he's like starting a like doing a movement. And so like it's a good movement for a guy. Like good job, good for you. But I think people like interpret it like, oh, this is like the new era. This is how things are going and this and that. But it's just like it's a paradigm that he's trying to like
mm,
pedal, just like we're trying to pedal the psychotechnology era,
mm.
paradigm.
All right, episode 10. Do you remember the dyslexia episode?
Okay, I remember doing dyslexia.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember doing it with you. Yeah.
Okay, that's good because I have no notes on it because we lost the note. I didn't hit save on the thing and I lost the keywords. So we just have like I remember I was like, Daniel, dyslexia is like, my metaphysical health thing. You can probably wiggle your dyslexia. And he's like, I don't know about that. And I'm like, all right, let's go. And then we had a whole episode of like, here, try this and try that. I don't think it worked. You still have dyslexia.
Yeah, it did feel like it calmed it down a bunch.
Oh,
And then
I remember
in just
because you were angry. You were so angry. You were like, why a word spelled this way? This sucks. I
yeah,
hate English. And I'm like, Daniel, you're angry at something. Why are you so angry?
yeah. It did help to like work through a lot of the stuff and my spelling has gotten better since then for
Oh,
sure.
interesting. Maybe
Um
we got to do another dyslexia episode. See
it
if
was
we can
good work.
get it again.
Interesting. I had an interesting insight. I've been going through Mind Illuminated
Oh, nice.
for the first time, embarrassingly. Sorry. And then the the really like it was really like focusing on like they really like he's like they're really like hitting home the idea of um awareness and concentration as two different things, like two
Yep.
different phenomenon.
Yep. Yep.
Which I absolutely love, and I don't know why. Like I kind of knew that, but like I
Mm,
don't know, I guess like reading the book and like doing this stuff, I'm like, oh no, like this is like stop fucking confusing them.
yeah.
And so there was this there was like this like flickering thing that I had for a long time that I didn't know how to deal with.
Nice.
And it's like a lot of that has gone away
Oh.
because
It was
I'm
like
like,
flicking back,
huh?
it's back and forth between the two, or
So yeah, so like I wasn't aware of the difference between mindfulness and concentration. And so um
that'll make a big difference.
so yeah, I was thinking of it as like background foreground, which is like mo mostly true, but it's like not because you because like they're like those are just different, like those are different phenomena. Like background foreground is different than awareness concentration. And so I've been like much more um I guess I concentrate on my concentration or awareness of my concentration or something. But like paying attention to the flipping. And so it just does it less.
Mm. Usually it's the other way around. People need to be told to concentrate on their awareness because they're in concentration and they've never really noticed that awareness matters. And so you get them to point their attention at their awareness.
With their attention at their awareness. So I used to do that. So
Right.
I mean I still do that, but um like I did that for a while, but I didn't I guess I wasn't aware of my concentration flickering. Is maybe how to say.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Cool.
Or I was aware of it, but I didn't know how to change it.
Mm,
And so the change wound up being like just really being like these are two different things.
mm,
I'm doing two different things at the same time, and they're not totally orthogonal, but they're somewhat orthogonal.
all
And then
right.
just being like that.
Tell me about episode 11. We gotta keep rolling.
Oh yeah, so let's move. Dyslexic, when kids fight, is there a deeper spiritual purpose to their action? I don't remember that, but like we do.
I think
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah, what?
Yeah. That was like wrestling and stuff and like fighting and I've actually grown up since then. Like I don't fight with my kid as much. Because I realized a lot of the fighting that like the wrestling kind of fighting. Like not that I like punch him or yell at each other, but a lot of the play fighting we do is just because like I don't really know how to relate to him otherwise. But like we've matured a bunch and so like we do things that are um we're able to connect in ways that aren't just fighting. And now my little one, my 6 month old, like we started wrestling a little bit. Super fun.
Oh, nice.
Is that who I think it is in the background?
No, it's gone.
Oh, okay, because
I think
next episode is
wait,
Richard's
wait, let me
episode.
oh, is it really? Oh,
Yeah.
we can call her in. Is it really?
Oh yeah, and then my
It
eldest is
is.
there.
Come on.
And I had the baby for this one.
Ah, okay. Here she
And I
comes.
had the baby when he was in this. Oh my God, he looks so cute then.
All right, so we're in episode review, and we just got to your episode. This one.
Do you remember our first episode together?
Yeah, yeah,
You remember being on the episode?
sure.
So like, yeah, what was the episode? What do you remember? What was the highlights? Those
I
that's the
don't,
notes.
I don't barely remember anything about it. I mean,
We talked about religion a bit,
yeah.
drama triangle, manifestation. You don't remember. You don't even remember.
I don't remember it very well. I mean, it was fun. I had a good time.
This is like
I
a year and a
remember
half
it
ago.
went by pretty quickly. I remember now that I'm reading this, I remember lots of it. I had a really good time with it. I felt like it just went by really quickly. And I like that you guys do live stream. On my podcast, it's like I have to edit and go back. And this is just like, it just, it's just out there, you know. It's really nice.
Mm.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, that's
What are you
quite
guys
funny,
doing?
actually.
we're
You're
reviewing.
just
We're
every episode?
Well, we're up to episode 12.
Oh, that was episode.
Yeah, we're
so early.
Yeah, we're up. So this is episode 100 of us, and that was 12.
This is episode 100.
Yeah, well, no, actually, it's a couple more than that, but
no, it's episode number 100.
Comment down
We're gonna
below.
get-
Tell us your favorite episode.
okay.
Yeah.
So, for all the viewers out there. Hey, I have a request. I've told both of you separately, but
Well,
now I want to tell everyone.
Okay, this is dangerous.
So everyone can group think you into doing it. I think you guys should do the Parsha every week. I think that would be an awesome idea.
We talked about that.
I would love to hear you guys analyzing the Parsha,
Ugh.
and I mean that would be right up my alley.
All right.
The Parsha is the
Every week, one chapter of Jewish Torah is sort of allocated to a week, and so we review in synagogue, like it gets read out. So being able to talk about it becomes interesting.
it's the first 5 books of the Old Testament, and then it's like they're like cut up into little sections and spread out over the whole year. And I think you guys would just do an awesome job of like analyzing them and giving your own interpretation and stuff like that.
I am willing to commit to one for starters, and then we'll see after that. But
Yeah. We should have done it last week. Last week was my bar mitzvah Parsha.
We
That
could've
was
done-
I had such a I did like I had like a spur of the moment thing like a couple weeks or months ago or whenever like after October 6th, and like connecting like what's happening now and what's happening with Yaakov, because that's the Parsha where Yaakov, like Jacob, becomes Israel, and
Right.
so like that's like Israel today, and so there's like a whole thing going on there, which I absolutely love.
That's a great Parsha, Daniel. You have an auspicious Parsha.
Oh my god, yeah, so many cool things happening there. But the whole, like, you have to read the whole thing, or you don't have to, but you're like supposed to. The problem is like the last Leah, like the last like
Paragraph.
maybe like 10 verses or something, not, or like 20 verses or something, is all, it's not even Hebrew. It's like, because it's all Esav's family. So it's like I don't know what language it is. It's like in some language that's been forgotten. Like it doesn't exist anymore. And I have to like go and read it. And you have to get it all like exactly correct, like every phoneme, or they correct you.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's like just like brutal at the end.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, episode 13.
See ya.
All right. Episode 13. Trust, Dream, Suffering. Psychotechnologies Live. I
Mhm.
don't know what that means. There's no notes either.
Yeah, this is one of the ones that shortly
Oh,
after this,
there are notes. There's just
Yes.
no things.
there's very little notes. Shortly after this, I got into the group, and then we got all the notes as it
Yeah,
should.
so there was a lot of trust stuff. Interestingly, because a lot of the trust stuff for me originally, I think like kept getting hammered of like this is important to talk about. It's coming from Malcolm, and I will probably be doing GCI this year.
Nice. On the 30th.
So that's cool.
Very cool.
What do people mean by energy? Hells yeah.
Oh yeah, I like
That one also felt very edgy because I'm like, oh, this like mystical thing that's vague and everybody talks about. Like, no, you experience this all the time. Like, here it is. Like, I just go put in colloquial terms for you, and then start to like play with it a little bit, and so that you can get introduction.
I
one
really
felt-
like this one, and then there's 20 episodes later. There's another one about energy. I just really like the episodes about energy.
Yeah, I think the energy stuff is like, it felt very edgy because it's taking all this stuff that's like very fringe and being like, no, like these things that everybody talks about and these fringe things are the same thing. They're just like looking at them differently.
I don't even know what I wrote there.
Yeah, let's go. Next one. What is impermanence? The Theravada school. I love that one. So that's impermanence, suffering, realization, and no self. Those ones were really good. That was like a 3-parter because we did that's the Theravada path, right?
That's right.
You
Yes.
do- Yeah, you realize impermanence, and this is like what is it?
That's
the
right.
mark-
So at the end of the energy episode, I there's a little note of like Trungpa, who set up the three schools of Theravada, Mahayana, Vajrayana into not separate schools, but like a sequence.
Yeah.
And that the like in order Theravada, then Mahayana, then Vajrayana, in with a different major realization to each school. So impermanence first, that's episode 15. Then suffering being the Mahayana path is episode 16, and no self being episode 7. Just check 17.
Yeah. Yeah. So like that one, I felt like that like felt really, I think that was the first time we did like, no, we're gonna take this like this actual, I mean, I don't know if you call it even a psychotechnology, but like something
A
like
school, maybe,
a
or
school of like the school
school
of
of thinking.
psychotechnology. And we're gonna like go like this is the thing that they're trying to teach. This is and just nail like go deep into that.
Mm. Yep. Yep. It was a good review. That's 15.
Like yeah, in the order that they want us to do it.
Mm.
And then I think we had to like regress because it was like too intense, so we went to identity. So like who are we to even do these things? Oh yeah, then you had angry. You were angry, so we dealt with that.
I still am working through anger stuff.
Yeah, the Australians like the anger, I think. The Canadians like the anger is not a big thing here.
Really? What do you have instead? You just miserable or something?
Um we have a lot of social anxiety.
Ah, okay. Wait, you missed one. You missed episode 18, identity,
No,
which
I said identity.
has no notes. So I guess
Yeah,
that's
because we
what we did.
regressed because we did it really intense with
Ah,
the
okay.
Theravada, Marjana, whatever. I gotta write this stuff down because people ask me like, "Oh, so like, what part of Buddhism do you do?" I'm like, I don't know. Go check my, go check the episodes."
I have playlists. Like I have a couple playlists. Like the three schools there are in a playlist.
Yeah, you should probably change the name, like add in Theravada, Marjana, but
Yeah.
oh yeah, you got Vajrayana,
Right.
Vajrayana. I
Uh,
don't actually use this stuff like we gotta start using this in like regular parlance because like I
mm,
actually don't really. Yeah, the
yes.
marks of what is it? The marks of existence is like
Yeah, that's
impermanence,
that's
suffering, and
unsatisfactoriness and no self. Those are the three marks that imply each other as well. You should read NCQB.
these. Yeah, this is
You're done
dependent
with TMI, go read
origination, right?
NCQB. No, that's
Right,
different.
independent origination.
Dependent origination is a different, but we cover that. We have that in a later video.
Okay, maybe I
Um,
should go back and read this.
oh
Okay, so angry Australian.
yeah. Then we're at
Can you feel
episode 20. It looks like 19A. We're talking more metaphysical. Wow. I dragged you into a bunch of metaphysical stuff.
Yeah, can you feel your organs? This one was kind of cool, I think. So I remember we did the acid reflex and like that actually was helpful. I don't really get acid reflex anymore, but I also switched to keto.
Mm.
So I don't know that there's a correlation, but I do remember during the episode I had bad acid reflex and you did
I was
something to
like,
like
can we adjust that? Can we fix that? Yeah. Nice. Look, there it is again. Gottman. John Gottman. I've been
yeah.
talking about this for years.
Yeah. No, for sure. Gottman's a real guy.
Yeah.
I just listened to like 10 hours of this stuff.
Nice.
Interviews with this. He does it all with his wife. It's hilarious. They're hilarious. You know, he went on 60 dates. His
Really?
wife was the 61st.
Wow. Oh, and I know I have a friend here who's been on like 110 or like when I talked to him like 130 or something. I think the person I'm talking about, he was like a 50 or 60 sort of age range. And he was finding it, you kind of know what you want when you're more of an adult and you can tell very quickly this is not it at the first date. And so there's a necessity to keep throwing the fishing line into the water, sort of knowing that that's not it. You need to go again. Anyway,
I don't
so
think it works like that. Yeah.
that's
But
what
yeah.
that's what he said. So I'm
Yeah, well,
on face value of a
everybody,
guy who's
I
been on
I think
130 first dates.
if you got
Some of
130,
which
Unless you like really like doing first dates, like I could definitely see doing that as a hobby.
There's definitely something fun in the like naivety of first impression and like
Yeah.
getting to know someone, like who is this, and like do I like him, and like kind of the butterflies in the stomach. But as a hobby,
Yeah.
kind of seems anyway.
I really like going on dates, and so like yeah, going on 100 first date. I mean, it depends on how,
Sure.
but yeah, it does seem like fun
All right, episode
as
20.
long as it's not like work. All right, butcher the theory of spiral dynamics. I gotta learn spiral dynamics. Oh my god, have you been listening to watching? I just found Ho theory. I think it's called.
Ho Tactics.
No,
There was a book called Ho Tactics, which was hilarious.
Ho math.
Oh yeah, I've heard of him.
Ho
He's
math.
using like spiral dynamics and some of these developmental theories in these to explain pop science sort of. Yeah, I've heard of him. I haven't.
Yeah, he is fantastic. He does like it's almost all dating. I think all this stuff is dating. And it's fantastic.
Mm.
I don't know how accurate it is, but
It's the
it's
application of theory, he's applying the theory to the field and he's
and he's
publishing.
and so like he does that. The thing I like that I think we should start doing is he takes like popular TikTok videos, and then he shows where they are on the scale, and he's like, this person is having a thought about a person having a thought about them, so
Right.
that puts them here, and this is the
Right.
things that they're going to want to.
Mm.
And this person is having emotions, and they're declaring them as thoughts.
Right. Interesting.
Okay,
Okay,
it's a bit rough on people, but
this was, I think we did spiral dynamics very briefly from memory. We didn't really get into the guts of it, but maybe we should redo spiral dynamics.
yeah, we should redo it because I want to. I would actually love to do his chart because he does. He has it modified slightly, but it seems like it's actually like simplified in it. I really
Okay.
think
All
it's
right, I've
good.
written down spiral dynamics as an option. All right, episode 21, Dr. K.
Dr. K. Yeah, so that's Dr. K in Pokemon. Pokemon
Interview.
interview. I thought that one was really cool because like we took someone else's stuff and like analyzed it. That was like fun to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd
Um,
consider picking another Dr. K episode and analyzing it again because I think I have much more mature perspectives. Like I think I have a tendency to be very critical of other practitioners, and I think I've eased up on some of that. And so I
Yeah.
can sort of like see more of the good and less of the bullshit than I used to be bogged down in.
yeah. You've been progressing good.
Thanks.
Been enjoying your journey. All right. What is that one? Yeah. What is happiness and how do I get it? I don't remember this one. I don't ever remember being happy.
I think what is happiness is interesting. What do yeah, I think we went, what did we mean by happiness? No, I don't even remember.
I don't remember this, but I do think like the thing I say now, the thing I say now is happiness is peace in motion,
Oh, peace in
which I
motion.
like. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe we can
How
develop
did we
that one
forget a whole
later.
episode? I guess it's like it's an hour and a half.
'Cause I thought like it's just like because you're starting to be present, So we start. Oh yeah, and and then the next one was a placebo pill. We're like, yeah, let's do a placebo pill and we'll sell it.
Let's make a placebo pill.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure those already exist.
They do actually. They totally exist. Sometimes you might need to ask at the chemist, but they're like pills that don't do anything. They're good for like if you wanna if you're like studying and you want to like set yourself up with a placebo study mindset, you can like pop a pill. Doesn't. I mean, you could probably just use like a breath mint or something, but
Yeah.
placebo.
All right. Is genetics metaphysical?
Yes. Here we are back in metaphysical.
Yeah. See, like you really like what is the fixation of this?
I'm less fixated than I used to be, but I certainly certainly had. I actually have a like sort of. This is a dangerous one to name. Whatever. A reinterpretation of evolution. I think here's a wild theory. I think consciousness has some influence on the direction of evolution.
Oh, for
Like,
sure, for sure.
like we think of Darwinian evolution as a like survival of the fittest. Therefore, if someone is found ugly and they don't have kids, that's we view it like externally as survival of the fittest, but internally there's like a subjective judgmental opinion, like we don't like, that person doesn't have the qualities of beauty that we want to bring into the world in the future.
Yeah,
So that's a like we sort of
it's
shape our own evolution experientially by making a whole bunch of choices like that.
yeah,
So it's like a subjective threat. Like we subjectively weave evolution ourselves consciously, like through conscious choices, which
yeah,
is not like there's Darwinian evolution, and then there's this other thing here going on as well with it, that is consciousness also weaves evolution. Not to mention
yeah,
more esoteric, like our desires to be stronger or taller or fitter, weave our mating choices and or other choices in the world, or our opinions of what makes a beautiful flower, weave us to enact those evolutionary principles. We're seed selecting, we're destroying weeds because we don't like them. Like we're in relationship with our environment in a way that leads us to cultivate, using our consciousness, the future of evolution,
yeah.
which is kind of cool. Anyway, yeah, I have way too much
But
metaphysical health stuff.
yeah, I think there's also the other thing, like for the consciousness, just to like not to get too of, but I'm pretty sure like conscious, like we affect our epigenetics as well.
Right. But like which genes get expressed.
Yeah,
I think we can sort of shut ourselves down. Particularly like strong emotional experiences can sort of end up with majorly changing sensation and muscular expression. I do think that like even like hormones like testosterone, if you're talking about like an animal hierarchy or something, organisms self-regulate their hormone expression so that they don't get in as many fights. This is like the classic
yeah,
Petersonian lobster thing, but humans obviously do it as well. Like we do weave ourselves to coexist in a world in various ways. We shut ourselves down. We reject our some of our natures in order to shape ourselves in certain ways.
yeah,
Anyway, I'm way too in the metaphysical side of things, and I have eased
yeah.
up since then. But
I do
what is
appreciate it.
personal development, and why should I go anywhere near it? That looks like a fun episode. And no
Yeah,
description, sadly.
yeah. Unfortunately, there's no notes, so we don't know what happened, but it does seem important to talk about.
I think we talked about like I wanted to put into words like what is all the random shit I'm doing in terms of therapeutic, in terms of like growth stuff. Like what are we trying to do when we do personal development? I think from memory, that's kind of like what we were doing.
Sure.
And I actually thought it was a good episode, but unfortunately, without the description, we kind of I've screwed myself over a little bit. I always intended to go back and get the descriptions in there, but yeah,
There's
life
like better
moves.
stuff to do with their time, I think, in a lot of ways.
Well, I'd rather do a
If
new episode than go back over an old one and put timestamps in.
yeah, yeah, I think if somebody were to like send it to us, like we would probably just put it in.
Yeah, or like anyone can put it in the comments, like a timestamp if they watch it. They can put like timestamps and like descriptions. Anyone. All right, episode 25A, I guess. Oh, that was 25. The 25 is Alexander technique. Oh, I twinged my back. Is that me or you? Must have been me.
That was you.
Wait.
Have I ever heard my back?
No, it was definitely me. I remember because I remember what I was doing. I lifted up like a plant pot that was probably about 50 kilos or 60 kilos. It was full of dirt and it was way heavier than I expected, and then I was like, no, I'm committed to doing it, and I twinged my back. But actually, like talking about like Alexander technique or um, working with pain. I really like that episode because it was like, had some practicality. Oh, that was we had Stuart on there too.
Yeah,
He was a
I don't really remember him.
he contributed, he shared. We had him back another time.
Yeah.
But
Do we?
yeah. Oh, this
Yeah,
was
there's a lot going on in my life, so like,
yeah. The
it's hard for me
rationalist that
to.
needs to know everything to the rationalist can work out what they need to know when they need it.
Yeah,
So this is the first time
that's meta rationality. Like
we've
that's
repeated
real
that a
meta
couple
rationality.
times. So like I can work it out on the fly.
Yeah.
Pain, Alexander.
Yeah. All right. Next, circling around confusion and disorder. I don't want this.
What's that one? I think my hunch is Daniel said something like, "I'm confused," and I'm like, "Let's go, let's talk about it."
Yeah, this is back in the day. I think like this period of time you wanted to do a lot of work. You were like very interested in doing the work, I think, online.
I still am. I still am. But maybe I've eased up a bit on it.
So I think there's like a lot of stuff that we balance. And I think like some of like what we do is like we'll like deep dive into things. So we do like I think we so like the Vergiana one, like where we did like 3 episodes where we just did that, and then we kind of just eased off of that and went into like just like chilling. And then we went to it seems, and then we went to we tried the Pokemon, and then we went to yeah, like doing a lot more
We've
work.
There is a point to be made here that we've done a lot of experiments and we will continue to try out experiments. But like the Game B and the Dr.K were different experiments of different styles of content.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. So that was like as like circular and confusion disorder, authenticity rebirthing.
yeah. Oh, this must have
Oh,
been
I
when I was first discovering ideal parent figure protocol. Because I read the textbook and stuff.
oh yeah, one of the guys in Toronto, so Michael, so James's friend, apparently studied under the guy that studied under Dan Brown.
Oh, nice. Yeah, there's a good lineage under Dan Brown's people for things like ideal parent figure. Dan Brown had multiple because he was also doing pointing out method. He has a whole book on Tibetan pointing out as well. So he had that lineage, and then he had the ideal parent figure as a therapeutic process, which are completely different things, at least from my perspective. Um, and he was like training in both and teaching people both of them. Oh, we talked about autonomy, giving kids autonomy. Huh.
Yeah, I still like do that. I still like it's like the nurturing is like you're creating an environment around their autonomy. And I think that's probably the most important thing you can do as a parent.
Mm.
Because if a kid grows up and like they have nothing but good autonomy, like they'll figure it
Autonomy
out.
and like resources to make use of their autonomy, then they'll end up finding when they
Even
get old
resources
enough.
is like a
Well, in the
bonus.
real world, they'll go find the resources, but the belief that the
Yeah.
resources will be there is very, very important.
Yeah. I think like the parent's job is to like not crush autonomy and to like nurture it,
Mm.
and everything else is kind of secondary.
Mm-hmm. All right. 28.
And
Does
then I
life
guess
feel
attachment
special?
style, and then but that's
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
all connected.
Hold on. Does life feel
Uh,
special?
yeah.
Ah, rituals, life-changing experience.
The acknowledgement of land ceremony. This might have been after I got trained to do.
No, no, no. This was way before that, I think.
So fun.
I don't know. Maybe not. I don't remember. Does life feel special?
Does life feel special?
Mm.
All right. Four noble truth, a four path. It's funny. I recently did like a little bit of a write up on on that Four Noble Truths Eightfold Path, like readjusting it
Mm.
for like
Oh,
reapplying it to things.
okay.
Yeah, it's amazing like how many like Buddhists I meet, I guess, like people that are into Buddhism that like just don't do that.
Don't what?
Like,
Don't
well, no, you're
do
not
it
Buddhist, but
modern
like a lot of
times.
people from like the monastic academy, like they just like don't deal with that. And
Mm.
like to me, I thought I'm like, oh well, like isn't this like the
Specifically, you mean translate for modern times, or
like just like at all? They're just like, oh, full noble truth, eightfold path, like whatever. Like
like
it's just
use the
that's
ancient
like
words to do the thing? This is my bone.
they
I have a
just
bone to pick there.
it's like nothing. It's not like they do it differently or they have like a new interpretation. It's just like or do the thing and they just don't do it.
Mm.
Oh, is this Romeo's? No. Why does this say Romeo Stevens?
I think we quoted him a bunch. We used
Didn't we
it
have him as a guest?
later. I think we. I'm not sure. We'll see if we get there. I don't think we did. I would like to.
Are you sure? I'm pretty sure we had him. We had somebody.
We had Matt Goldenberg.
No, we had. Yeah, like I thought we had him because we had he's the guy that did the
Here, let me check.
Metaphysicians Without Borders, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, we did. Yeah, we did have him. It was later on in episode 66.
Yeah,
God,
so why
it's
does
been
it
so
say
many
that?
episodes.
Yeah, I don't know why we said that. Why it says that his name. Maybe we're just like trying
I
to.
think we were quoting his stuff from memory. Like we were talking about one of his articles and we were debating if we agreed.
Oh, mistranslating the Buddha. I think you're right. I think we were doing. Yeah, we were probably like going through his article.
Mm.
All right, balancing the seven factors of awakening. Dude, I still do this. I just I forgot to do the concentration one, and so I've been like multiple people. What's it called? I'm not explaining that right. So like I actually looked this up the other day because I was feeling um very IFSy, like very multi, and like the 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 connection to that is to like stay single focused.
Mm.
I'm not explaining it well, but yeah, the balancing the seven factors is like amazing.
Yeah, it's often one that's out, and then you find the one that's out. It's like, oh yeah.
Yeah. It's like the one you're like, oh fuck, I hate this. Like, why do I have to do this? You always hate it, but it's like, okay, at least I know what the answer to my problems is.
Paths of the traps of the path.
Yeah. And then we talked to Rabbi Tzvi, my brother. I still talk to him sometimes.
Well, he is your brother, so you should.
Yeah. He's back in town.
Oh, nice.
He was in the States for most of the time since that episode. But now he's back and partying.
Nice.
What's it partying?
Yeah, Judaism.
Yeah. Yeah, he's fun.
He told a lot of
Um,
stories. I remember this.
yeah.
And I called him on it. I was like, be real, don't tell stories. And I don't know if you
Yeah.
like that too much.
He's interesting, yeah.
I mean, there's a very much a Judaism style of being, which is to tell lots of stories. And
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It was fun.
Yeah, he very like embodies like a lot of like the feelings of like growing up.
Mm,
And he's like more secular than I was, like than I kind of grew up in, but it's like there's like a certain vibe he's got that's
mm.
um
All right, what was
very
32?
reminiscent.
Jeez.
Kind of like it kind of bugs me.
Mm.
Yeah, cookie clicker, embodiment, a focused workstation. I don't know, that feels like
The emotional gym. I still talk about that one.
yeah, the emotional gym. We were starting the dojo.
Yeah.
Someone just asked me about it on Twitter.
Yeah.
Someone
I guess we got to
messaged
do
me.
another episode soon.
No, we got to do like the dojo. I think we
Yeah,
should do
yeah,
the
I know.
dojo regularly.
Yeah, yeah, we gotta do one of those. Well, we just haven't done one for a week or two. We've been recording instead, so
Yeah, but like I think if we can do it regularly, like get some
yeah,
people and
one
just
one of
even
each.
like drop in practice session.
Mm.
I don't know. It's like hard. I feel like I have a trouble pulling people.
Yeah, we'll work on that. We can work on that.
Yeah, I don't
Do
really
you think
know.
there needs to be more emotional gyms in the world?
Yeah.
All right, episode 33.
Um, yeah, so that was 32, 33. Going through the history of rash. Oh yeah. That was fun. That was fun.
Yeah.
The other day, someone did a challenge at me. We were just like hanging as like Vibe Explorers, and we're just like it's like very post rat and like, or it's even like post rat. Like I think a lot of
Oh
the
my
people
gosh.
didn't even go through the, and like someone said a thing and it like triggered my rationality response, and I just like
Great.
like pulled the hammer down on him, and I went boo, like you come at the king, you come to kill, or don't come at all. I was like,
So funny.
whoa.
Yesterday I was in a conversation and then like a political loop came up. I was like 10 minutes later, I'm like, oh yeah. Immediately I was like, oh, these people are about to get sucked into a vortex. And there was like, Trump and left and right and this and that. And I was like,
I'm
oh yeah.
getting so good at this culture war. Like every time we see culture war stuff, I just don't engage.
Yeah, I didn't really bring my own stuff, but it's still fun to talk about. I feel like also um we have much better ways to talk about these things than we used to, like to be compassionate to the other people in the struggle.
Yeah, but to me it's like
It still came up and it still like vortexed us in for a couple of minutes.
yeah. So like I'm getting much better at that where it's like the culture war is the problem, not the specific side or the
Mm.
specific instances.
Well,
It's
it's the
like
relationship to the culture war, the way that we piss each other off with our frustrations. It's not actually the culture war that's the problem.
yeah, I think it's the reactionary is sort of where I'm at now. Is
Mm.
like it doesn't matter what you're reactionary to, like whichever side, but like you don't want to get caught reactioning.
Right. You don't want someone to suck you into the mud with them.
Like whatever you're doing, like just like you got it. Like the way out is to live your truth, and reactionaries is not your truth. Like that's just you
Mm.
trying to like soothe your ego or something. Like whatever. There's reasons for that, but it's not the way out.
Shitty ways to do nihilism. This was a fun episode.
Yeah, dude, I still love rationality stuff.
Yeah, of course. I still run
I'll totally
rationality.
I'll totally get back into it one day.
Oh man, that's foreboding. Coming soon, Psychotechnologies book. God,
Yeah.
I don't have a plan.
We've been putting stuff together. We've been putting the course together. I realized like I was talking to Ben and he's like, so what psychotech do you know? I'm like, I don't know. And I'm like, oh, let me pull up a list of stuff from like the course that we were gonna put together.
Mm.
And then like and I'm like, it's not even the course that we're trying to put together now. It's like a previous course that we're trying to put together.
Right, twice we put together courses. This is behind the scenes. We never published it. Twice,
Yeah.
right?
But
We constructed courses and then got
course
sidetracked.
outlines.
Course
I
outlines,
still want to do
including
this one. I want to have a talk with you about that because like I still want to do this one. I think I can I think there's actually a bunch of stuff I want to talk to you about, but
yeah.
maybe we'll do it off. But I was thinking about it because that one is like it's like intro to psychotech and all the psychotech, and this one is concentration. And it's like to me, it's like I don't necessarily want to teach people psychotech unless until they can concentrate on things and
Right.
like
I mean,
notice that they're
there's a
shifting.
really interesting puzzle of like in which order is the prerequisites for learning other things than the psychotechs, which I don't think is an easy answer to arrive to because it's
Yeah.
all kind of interrelated. Like there's a way in which to know IFS and not know it well, and then you screw yourself up, and then like you need all these other tools like good, clear compassion, which you can't necessarily get to with the in order to
Yeah.
do with IFS, right? And that's like
Yeah.
but compassion is like irrelevant to you if you're like too ADHD. Like, there's just layers and layers and layers of like it's all interdependent. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
I
right,
kind of think like yeah.
episode
Yeah. So
34.
it makes it hard, but it's good stuff. Like it feels good stuff. Like went to it and I'm like, oh yeah, like I like this stuff. And then he was like, oh, you have a broad definition of psychotech, whatever.
Oh
Okay, then
yeah,
we
we did
did
episode
yeah.
34. Dan
But I'm
Brown.
like, because it's all related. Like you can't do psychotech without frames.
Yeah.
You can't do frames without like enlightenment. Okay, so
I wrote the course with you. I know.
yeah.
um,
Yeah, I wasn't trying. Yeah, okay. Yeah,
I
then we
really
did
like
Daniel
Dan
P.
Brown. I mean, I still really like him, and that's why I was like, we have to do this episode of Dan Brown around him because he passed. This is around when he
This
passed
is like,
away.
yeah, it's like the week I passed away. Yeah.
Was it the week he passed away, or was there another episode? No,
No,
I
I
think
think we
that's
only
when he
did
passed
one.
away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now it's funny because I keep hearing about it. I'm like, oh, and they're like, oh, but and someone was saying like, it's like, oh, you've never heard of this guy. It's like this and that. And I'm like, dude, I did a whole episode on him.
Yeah. No, I mean, this is one of our most watched episodes. Like, I
Yeah.
think he's like my opinion of Dan Brown is still that he's a legend. Like, he lived multiple lifetimes. He was like a court expert witness in one lifetime. He met the Dalai Lama and perfected a meditative path in another lifetime. And then he did the ideal parent figure attachment repair stuff in like 3 full lifetimes. Like, this guy's a legend. Like, he used to run retreats in his pointing out method in the meantime while running a psychology department of attachment repair at the same time as being an expert witness. Like, he was a busy guy.
Yeah,
Plus, he
that's
had a wife
cool.
and kids, and like the rest of his life that I don't know about because it was him having a personal life. Like, I'm a big fan. Like, I've read his book like 5 times. Like, yeah, I still use the ideal parent figure stuff.
I should probably use that. Yeah. Yeah. I was finding it like cringe a bit, but
Yeah, that's because you got
I kind of need the repair at this point.
need the ideal parent, need the ideal parent to repair it. But like, it
Yeah.
also, one of the things it does is it triggers like shitty parenting memories. Every time you pull up the ideal parent, you trigger the stuff that falls short of ideal parent. So like, yeah, that's stuff that needs to be worked through. Anyway, all right, that's episode 34. That's
Yeah.
one of
Then
my
we did 10
favorite.
fetters. I love 10 fetters. I was just looking that up the other day.
Mm.
Because 10 fetters are like it's like a really good like heuristic for enlightenment because like you think you're enlightened and then you're like, okay, well, like I can just go through them. Like, is
Wait,
this
why do I
something
still
like
think I'm better than people if I think I'm in line? Like, wait a second. Which is one of the Fetters.
um
See.
yeah. Yeah. So I mean like for me there's like yeah, there's like stuff where I'm like, yeah, because like I have this friend who's like thinks they're enlightened. Like, because it's cool because you can also just like point out when people think they're enlightened, and you're like, no, you got attachment to rituals. Like you
Mm.
can't do this stuff without rituals. Like that's not enlightened.
I do think like I mean I don't use it. I think it's cautionary to use it as to attack people for where they're not at yet.
No,
But
no,
it's
you shouldn't
more
attack
like
people.
diagnostic of like, oh, do you still sometimes desire to be in certain states over other states? Like, if so, then you're kind of and I do believe that that stuff falls away. But if so, if you do desire to be in some states over other states, that's an immaterial sense desire.
Yeah. That's true, but it doesn't really help them because they're like they always do. Oh no, because I want to be in this because of, and then they give you reasons.
Mm.
And so it doesn't. But like these things, like usually like one of these 10 things, it's like you can be like, no, you have this thing, and like this is part of your situation.
All right. Episode 36.
Um, episode 36 is what the
Passover.
heck is Passover? I
Yeah.
think about Passover a lot
Do
because
you?
it's like very, especially like with Israel situation, like it's very when people
Mm. I think
like it's
Passover is like one of the major defining arcs of the Jewish story. Like, there's also walking in the desert after that, but that was like a real pivot that
no,
defined
but
the
that's all
existence
part
of
of the
people.
story. Like that's all what you do on Passover. So
Right.
there's like Passover as in like God passed over, and there was like that one moment,
Yeah.
but like the Passover, like the Passover Seder, like the ritual that you do in the night, like you
That,
go through the whole story of Yetzias Mitzrayim. So you go through Ovid Arami Ovid Aviv. So um like I think it was Abraham like Abraham, they tried to kill Abraham, and then like they don't go through every single time people try to kill the Jews because like it's just too much, but they go through most of the ones up until like they left Egypt, and they go once they left Egypt to go to land of Israel,
Mm.
crossing the Dead Sea, and then like um the end of the Egyptians.
Yeah. I mean,
But
it's
yeah,
kind of, do you think we should do more Judaism stuff.
100%. I've got like a better tick. I'm going through this series I found on Jewish mysticism. Um and so I'm like, oh, okay, like I get it. I get it much more now. So I think we could like, do that, like do the applied for today's stuff.
Okay. I mean, sure, I'm willing. Let's do more Jewish stuff.
Yeah. I'm like getting the psychotechnologies. I also ran into this guy at the shopping at the grocery store who does Jewish meditation, but I tried to get him on, but he's like, "Oh, we'll see you in a couple of weeks when I'm this and that."
Mm.
Um, he
Okay.
does meditation on the letters, so he like he focuses on the letters, sees it, so it's like object concentration, and then he talks to it and interacts with it. So it's like this combination of like object concentration and IFS.
Cool. All right.
So that would go. Eliot's developmental intensive experience. Oh, was this like a different tree?
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
retreat. No, that was a retreat.
Yeah, but so the same kind of retreat, but not the one you just did.
Right. It was a slightly different program, similar sort of structure, overlap of people attending as well, just because people keep wanting to come back. But yeah, yeah, it's a retreat stuff. So there's a couple episodes now of like I get back from retreat and then I talk about it. There's also one of Tim came on to talk about a retreat experience
Yeah,
too. So maybe I should put them in those into a playlist.
sure. Um, then there's next one is dealing with the stress of retreat management. So it's interesting because it's like two
Yeah.
sides.
Yeah, well, so the interesting thing about that, I was having a problem with that retreat, and it came back a little bit this retreat, but there's kind of like I'm in these retreats have a very unique structure that it is both I'm a participant in the retreat and also I'm in charge of like the food and the facilitating and like whatever. And so there's kind of like a trade-off. You either get one or the other. In certain moments, I am committed to either doing this thing or doing that thing, which feels really hard. And like, sometimes that trade-off is convenient. Like I'm like, this room is tense, this argument is difficult. I'm gonna go do the food. And so it's nice to have like a little crutch there, but also recognizing it as a little bit of a crutch had me going like, okay, there's a problem here. I'm escaping. I need to work through so that I'm not actually escaping. I am leaving, but I'm not escaping. Like, because those things are still necessary.
Yeah, yeah. It's like when you have when you have like multiple things you need to do, sometimes you do the thing because you don't want to do it, like because you don't want to have the
Yeah.
uncomfortable feelings around a thing.
Right.
And then you kind of get like that like generates avoidant behavior.
Mm. Yeah. 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 Oh man, this is just more retreat stuff. I have
Yeah.
a great time on retreats, I must say.
Me too. I love retreats.
Retreats are
Dealing
really
with
like, amazing experience.
yeah, dealing. I wish I could just live on retreat. Like that would be the best.
Uh, I don't like. I think that there's a necessity come back into the world and
If I was like a real guru, I feel
virus.
like I could spend most of my life on a retreat or
Mm,
like just running it.
mm,
Um, Dealing with but I think it's also like back and forth because like if you run a retreat well, like and you see all the things that like are needed, like you can start to run your life that way.
mm. Wow, 37, 38, and 39. That was 3 episodes on retreat.
So yeah, these were different, I think, because there was the stress of retreat management. I think that one was before. Like, I think we
Oh,
wanted to do an
first one
episode,
was.
but it was like the
I
week
think that
before.
37 was before, and then 38 was also before. Yeah, so we got April and then to May, and then it's like 2 weeks later. What was the retreat like? Was 2 weeks later.
Yeah. I think we wanted to do an episode, but we couldn't do anything because you were just too stressed about the retreat. So we did
Mm.
an episode on your stress.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. And then there was like post retreat, like how that was.
Yeah. Connection and aloneness, working with projections. Yeah. Um, facilitators being in the container. This is what I'm saying, of like being in the container as well. Like there's this way of facilitating from outside the container and being all like, I'm the boss, you're doing the exercise, you do what I say. and that's like a bit of a bypass. But if you're like, I'm the boss and I'm in the stew with everyone, that's quite a
Yeah.
much harder thing to do, and it's much more demonstrative of uh, equality of leadership.
Yeah. So
Power over its power with.
yeah, James, like we did last episode, we talked about like solidarity with James. And I
Right.
think that really like I didn't have the word solidarity as like in my vocabulary. Um, and like this really like he homes it down. Like you can still have hierarchies, you can still have power differentials, but like having the solidarity is what the solidarity is what people are actually looking for. It's like I think this is like a lot of stuff in our space. People like want to give away power. They want to have diffusion, no hierarchies. But like really, what they're trying to get to is solidarity.
Mm. It's interesting.
And
I
I
can
think
see like the last line of this video says consciousness before black white thinking, which is something I had to grapple with a whole bunch of times. Like black white is like yes, no, good, bad. Um,
yeah,
and it comes out in like disliking people or disliking things in the world. And then to get to a place earlier than that consciously is like little kid consciousness, but also that younger consciousness is much more free in the world and has to experience much less suffering because it's before that like split between good and bad.
yeah,
And I'm much better with it now, but back then I was really struggling with seeing it and working with it.
yeah, yeah. It's definitely feels like a developmental stage shift.
Mm. So like, well, the good and bad is like they're about 4 or 3 or so, and like getting past it is a developmental milestone.
Yeah,
All right, number 40. Whew.
containers when addiction when I'm addicted to drama. Listen.
So I've talked about containers over and over and over. So I think this is oh, this might have been the first like laying out of what is a container. Um, mm, yeah.
I don't remember this addiction one. I should probably go back and listen to it.
Which one? Uh, oh, the one after
Well,
containers. Okay,
yeah,
so containers is like one of my favorite psychology theories of like we kind of everyone sort of puts a bubble around each other or a bubble around themselves more specifically that supports the world around them. So like, if you're next to a burning building, you're going to want to like put out the fire in the burning building. You're going to want to change things about your environment to support you and your existence. You're going to want to build a shelter. You're going to want to get comfortable. This is you putting yourself in a
microclimates.
container of like, I care about myself and I care about my environment that in ways that it will care about me. So each
Yeah,
person puts themselves in a container. And then sometimes people have like very specific blind spots in their containers um, that make it hard for them to function. And so we need to repair them back to a healthy container and healthy containering awareness. Obviously, very specific mistakes in container comes from very specific childhood moments of mistake or failure. And so we
yeah,
learn to internalize those failures and then we like just bad at being adults for ourselves. And so we got to like go back and repair. Anyway, containers a big retreat.
oh, that's interesting. Yeah. I actually was thinking of it differently.
Ah.
So you're thinking of like the microclimates that we create for ourselves like as we go through life.
Oh, totally. Yeah, yeah. That's one
I'm
aspect.
thinking more like intentionally created containers, so like
Oh,
circling
and that's another aspect of
or
containering
therapy, where it's like,
for
hey, we're doing this thing now, and you need to
right.
respect the space. Like there's a sacredness to it.
But ideally, if we do that second type enough times, people will learn that they can
Yeah,
create and hold themselves in a healthy, safe container all the time and support
yeah,
themselves in what they need, and then do hard things and do scary and difficult things and be out in the world in the way that the world is unknown, but feel like they are containering themselves and supporting their own life and growth and journey, even though they're in scary places.
yeah.
Like that's being an adult is feeling like I got this, even though it's chaotic out here.
Even though you've never done it before, it's like okay, I still
Hmm.
got like yeah.
I really like that. That's one of my fave episodes. I've got like three favorites so far. One was energy, the next was Dan Brown, and then containers.
Yeah,
And
I
now
like the energy, and I liked episode 5 when we did era clear the era psychotech.
okay.
It's still like got the best feeling because it's like the actual transition.
Right. We became a
All
thing.
right.
All right,
Yeah.
41.
Why do I care about stories so much?
41. No. I think you're talking about
Oh,
42.
addiction?
Yeah, the addiction one.
Yeah, I don't remember the addiction one.
Ah, interesting. I remember the addiction one because you
All
were
right, tell me
like,
about it.
I think you asked me like, what's going on with addiction? Like, why do people get addicted to stuff? And I sort of presented sort of some models of attachment and sort of like why people get attached and why people have like, and also clinical relevance of addiction. Like the addiction actually, like we're all a bit addicted to air or food, but if we're not obese, then there's not a problem. Like, so there's like a level of addiction that like a bit of attachment is okay and too much is unhealthy.
Hmm.
Remember this? All right.
I've been doing a lot of addiction stuff, so it's
Right.
like hard. Look, I'm actually just trying to know about it.
Right.
I
So
find
anyway, there
it's
was
weird.
a
I find I relate. I don't really have addiction, but I find I relate to it very well.
yeah. I mean, I think
I don't
there's
know
something
why.
really interesting when you're in it. It feels very different, like in addiction or in addiction swings, feels very different to when you're no longer in it, and the two worlds don't really understand each other very well.
No, I mean like I never like had addiction. I went to rehab, but like the people that like I have friends that have, and I'm like I relate to them like
Hmm.
really well.
Okay, you've just never had a thing that you were addicted to.
Yeah, I feel like
Interesting.
because I feel like I kind of like, but I feel like I made a lot of intentional choices. Like
Hmm.
with alcohol, I'm like, oh, like these are the rules that you have to follow
Right.
for
Don't
alcohol.
drink alone, like that sort of thing.
Yeah, and then like heroin, like just don't do heroin. That's the rule.
Right. Yeah. Problems
So
come with
I just followed
party.
the rules. And then cigarettes, it's like don't smoke cigarettes. Um, but
Either
like
drink.
if I didn't have those rules, I would have 100% probably been addicted to things.
Hmm. Yeah, interesting. All right. Why do I care about stories so much? Bam, bam, bam.
I
Stories.
still struggle with the stories because I hang out like a Vibe Explorers in Toronto is which is like the main thing going on in the Toronto Memoration now. It is like it's like very AR. There's a lot of like AR people, like authentic relating, and so they don't do stories at all. They won't do anything like abstract, like above like concrete, essentially.
Really? That's interesting. I mean, maybe
Um,
they're like they feel like we're not getting the concrete right yet in order to grow up from there.
yeah, and they're totally right.
Fair enough.
Because like you do it, like it's amazing like how much of the higher levels of abstraction you just don't need if you get the bottom ones right.
Yeah. Mm. Oh yeah, good old word cells and shape rotators.
Oh fuck, I was
Oh,
just thinking about that the other day.
stories.
Someone
Yeah,
was trying to
I
word
remember.
something.
Yeah. Am I enjoying the stories that I'm telling? I still use that. Like you're allowed to tell stories as long as you are enjoying the stories you're in. And if you're enjoying them but they put down someone else, you got to be like, wait up, mm, maybe this isn't the healthiest of story to tell.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Everyone is a
Uh,
shitty wizard. Amazing.
yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, anyway, that's this whole thing. Psychometric results. That one
Ah,
was really good. I'm glad we recorded it because I don't remember. Like, I have to struggle with remembering like what my results are.
mhm.
But like we went through it and it was awesome.
Mm.
I am
Yeah.
like the most unique person. I am like one of the most unique people in the whole
Somehow
world.
you scored like really high up one end and really low down the other. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
content.
Like my spread was crazy,
Yeah.
and it's funny because I didn't even think it was that weird growing up because I had a friend like probably like let's say my best friend or like was also had like a high skew.
Mm.
And so I was just like, oh, like this is just normal. Like, oh, it's like I'm like, oh, look, probably like 30% of the population has this.
Yeah. I mean, this is also in the context of dyslexia. So this is on the thread of
Well,
like,
that's part of it. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, like,
Yeah.
it's okay that you have dyslexia, Daniel. Like, this is just like part of the
No,
reason this
no,
test is
that's
like,
part of the skew.
right.
I'm
Yeah.
saying
Yeah.
the same thing, right? It's like technically like when I took the test, it wasn't called dyslexia. It was called learning disability of like
Right.
reading or something.
Mm.
Like because they don't call it that anymore, but it's like in the olden days, but it's the same thing. Like it's not you don't get a double. I don't get a double weirdness for that. I only get one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get the high, the low, and then the skew.
Mm.
Which is but that's pretty much it. All right, what was that? I showed Daniel stages of insight. Oh yeah, I still think about this a lot.
Do you? Oh.
Mental noting, yeah, stages of insight because you sped up my cognition really quick, really
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
fast.
Yeah. I like that one. Oh,
But in a level way, which is nice.
raw. That's my, I like balance myself and take people through it.
Yeah, because I was like often getting ahead of myself and things like that. I don't like your technique. There's a technique you do
Ah,
where you're like I should be able to go to anywhere, and I
yeah.
think that's
Oh.
like that's very like autodidactic. Like if you're like I have no teacher, I have no thing, I need like this is the only thing I can
Oh.
do, fine. But realistically, like you should just go through the insight cycle like properly, straightforward, linearly. Like don't fuck around with
Uh,
it.
I'm gonna gently disagree, because what you will find in the future is that at first, the inside cycle is linear, and then once you get really, really used to it, then it becomes a hop around. But you don't know that yet
No,
because that's a future territory.
no, it doesn't. Uh,
You don't
no,
have to believe.
you're hopping around. No, no, I because I've seen you do it. I see you do it, and you're hopping around. You lose focus. You lose
Well, well, it's
concentration.
more like
That's
the
the
people
problem.
hop around, and then yes, they.
The second you hop, you've lost concentration. I think the hopping is BS. I think the only exception for that is if like you're paying attention to the insight cycle itself. So like
Mm,
if your meditation object is the insight cycle itself, then yeah, maybe like things are different there. But if like just in regular life, you got to do it. You got to do it straight.
maybe do it straight a couple more times and just see.
No, I'm pretty sure I do it like pretty straight. Like I got to go over it again and stuff, but like I do it mostly straight. Like I do it as straight as I can. It's much better. Like I drop it's like weird. I drop a lot of stuff, but then whatever stuff I drop, like if it's important, I come back to it.
Okay. Okay.
And the thing is like when you hop around, you don't actually move forward. You don't actually move your life forward, which is the problem. Like you're kind of stuck where you are and you get a lot of breadth, but you don't get to actually get out of the karmic cycle that you're stuck
Okay.
in.
All right. Do it in linear for a while, and we'll come back to this in like a year.
I have been doing it for a while, but
Good.
we
Good.
can't come back to
Keep
it. We don't
going.
have to argue it now. This is just my take. I know you have a different take, and we can just agree to disagree for
I
now,
have
but
a
we'll come
different
back
hot
to it.
take. It's amazing. All right, we'll come back to
Yeah, I'm like vehemently against it, and it like annoys me when you do it. I see you do it sometimes, and it's annoying.
it.
I should just call you out next time.
Yeah, all right. You can call me out next time. All right.
Because you
Read
do it and
other.
then you lose focus, but you think you're still there, but you're not. And like it's very obvious. All right.
Mm,
Reading other people. I don't know what
mm.
that is.
Oh, this is my stuff in terms of body as a tuning fork and
Oh,
resonating with
yeah.
like what I know about you is that I show up different in front of Daniel to in front of other people. And that's actually it's got some information about me, but it's got some information about you.
Yeah.
So
Dude, I
my
do that shit all the time. Yeah. Because
cool
like
skills of reading people.
when people do it real well, like when they craft like their images and all that stuff. So like there's one thing they can't do is like if you don't tell them, like if you notice that you're behaving differently,
Mm.
like and you notice that you're behaving differently, and then you're like, wait, why am I doing this? Why am I acting this way? And then you're like, something is going on. And like that is like a piece of information that I mean, this is probably like a
It's
little
like a layer
you
of
gotta be a little older.
self-awareness.
But yeah,
I
like
still
it
use
probably
it.
doesn't work for teenagers, but like yeah, once you have this, it's like I'm like I'm acting weirdly and I don't know why. Like something fucky is going on.
Ideally, they're bringing out the best side of you, but that's not always the case. Sometimes people have
So
bring
I have a
everyone's
I have a
shadow.
I have a both sides actually. So it's like in Vibe Explorers. I'm not gonna say who, but there's like two different people, and like one of them I'm acting like weird, and I'm like I don't like no, this isn't right.
And
Like
like
I'm
how I act around
self-abandoning.
you, yeah.
Which is like it's like though it's unclear um if I'm being caused to self-abandon or I'm noticing that I'm self-abandoning.
Right.
So like the counter to that one is I'm like, well, I'm now just gonna commit in my life to not self-abandon.
Mm. I mean, that's a good
So that
thing.
yeah. Because like everything evil shadow is good, right? Like if something's bad and then the shadow is good. So if someone's doing something and you just like they get this pattern inside you, you're like, well, what's the shadow? I'll just do that.
Mm.
And then there's this other person there that I don't know what they're doing, but when I'm with them, I feel like I have like really good boundaries.
Mm.
Um, my boundaries feel very thin. Like it feels like drywall,
Oh.
but it's like it's intact and like nobody's trying to knock it down. So
Mm.
like I can actually feel my boundaries. I think I have like problems like setting boundaries. And so with them, it's like they're like really good at like just I don't know what they're doing because they do it when I don't pay attention. I notice this because I think they do it secretly, not blatantly.
Mm.
So if I'm paying attention to what it is, like they don't really do it. But then like if I'm doing other stuff and just talking, it's like I feel all these boundaries. Maybe it's just like reflecting. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, interesting. I reckon we should go to episode 50 and like stop for today because we're only at 44.
Okay.
I've been like,
All right. What time are we at?
it's getting
How
late,
long have we been doing this?
like an hour and a half, hour
Oh
40.
damn. All
Yeah,
right.
that's
So we'll
why I'm
do
like,
like part two.
okay, 45. Breaking down some spiritual memes. Yeah, that was fun. Do
Did
you
we do
remember
the rate? What's this rating? When we did like the
episode 45?
yeah, I'm on it now. Was it the one where we rated the memes? Oh no, we went through the
We like
Facebooks.
explained what they meant.
Yeah, that was good.
And like, I mean, the best of memers, sort of the best memes don't need explaining, but sometimes the spiritual memes are a bit esoteric, and so that was like that was
Oh
fun.
yeah. Yeah, that was fun. Um, yeah. What are
I like
energetic structure?
I
Hmm?
was doing it more back then, but I collect like fun spiritual memes.
I don't do that.
No,
Maybe I should.
it's just
I've
fun.
been collecting YouTube memes, like short memes. I collect a bunch of stuff, but I don't collect that.
I don't do it so much these days, but it was just kind of fun.
It's good. It's good to do. Like if you're gonna use it, it's good to collect stuff.
Mm.
All right. What are energetic structures and how do we rate them?
I like this is one of those energy ones. I like the energy ones. This is one of my energy series.
We should do an energy series. Let's do an energy course. I'm I'm sort of
Oh,
kidding.
I should send this to someone. I really like the energetic structures. It's just the threads of like what is energy and what are energetic structures. Like there's something really cool here. Um, worth talking about. Um, yeah.
Okay.
Oh man, bring it all back.
Oh, I was seeing some Twitter stuff with the I think Andres
Good Gomez.
was like yeah was into like trying to figure this out, but apparently like so like if your chakras align properly you start to create a field around yourself,
Yep.
and he was talking about he's like it's just they're like he's apparently able to feel the distinct like aura levels or whatever.
I can kind
I
of
don't
feel
know what that
things.
is exactly.
Most people aren't in their bodies enough to resonate, but some people are. Some people really glow,
Yeah, no,
not in the like literal visual field, but in the like subjective perceptual. Anyway.
yeah, so I like sometimes like if I'm like doing real well like if like I'm having like a really good day I'll like be able to feel my aura, like feel like
Mm,
the auras interact, but I have not been able to do that for a while already.
mm, interesting.
Um,
Maybe you've been
Still
down.
struggling with, huh?
Maybe you've been down or low power. We've got to like power you up a bit.
Yeah, no, I've been definitely like low power for a long time.
Interesting. Okay. Episode 47. Metaphysics of effective altruism.
I vaguely remember that one.
Yeah.
Feels kind of cringe now. Some of the stuff feels cringe, but like I knew it was gonna be cringe at the time. But I'm glad I did. I feel like I went through stuff.
Why is it cringe?
I don't know. It just feels cringe. Oh, effective altruism feels cringe since like post FTX, especially. Like, because like back then, I think I was more like, oh, like I'm not fitting in and I'm not getting it, but like fine. And then it's like there's like kind of like since FTX and like all this like this stuff comes out and it's just and the accelerationist and the decelerationist is like it's like, oh man, how was I ever in this?
Yeah.
Um
I think
and
there's
like
another current in EA of immaturity, and I'm gonna possibly catch some flack for saying so,
it,
but
it's
but
an
it's like,
arrogant immaturity, yeah.
well, that's why we did this episode of like the metaphysics of EA, because it was to like point out some of the things we saw in the limitations to the current, like optimistically the philosophy of EA, like do good better. I'm not complaining about that, but the practicality of how people end up playing it out sometimes struggles to meet its ideal.
Yeah, the problem is there's the philosophy and there's the movement, and the philosophy should 100% exist and continue existing. And the movement is like,
Sometimes, some people, sometimes, some moments.
yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know about this.
yeah. Like I just see some bugs. With respect to
No,
great movement and
no,
a great ideal, I see some bugs.
no, that's not what I'm saying. You're saying there's some bugs. I'm saying there's like some like fundamental flaws going on
Okay,
that are
all
like
right. I'm trying to be
problematic,
nice about it,
majorly
but you're trying to
problematic.
be like brutal about it. Okay.
No, because there are things that have bugs, and
Okay.
then there are things that are like I don't know that I would recommend. Like Windows has bugs, and it frustrates me, and I'm like happy to make fun of it. But this is like, I don't know. I don't know. There's something like deeply weird
Okay.
going on
Okay.
there.
Try not to alienate our whole audience, but that's okay.
What do you mean we're post rats? We'll get more of us, more of us.
What,
But
like,
no, whatever. It's
well, if you want them to grow into post rats, you can't insult them being EAs because they're not going to
no,
grow post rats.
I'm not insulting EAs. I'm not
Okay.
insulting EAs. I'm
Okay.
saying there's something core, I think, to like the movement. There's like something weird going on.
Okay.
That seems rotten. People are attracted to it again. Like it's very different, right? Because like you got to go through. I mean, we live in reality, so like you don't get perfect stuff, and I don't see anyone else really like trying to embody this philosophy so much. So
Okay.
there's lots of reasons, and I went through it, and like a lot of my friends have gone through it. So it's
Yeah. I mean, I've got friends in there too. All right.
yeah.
All right.
I'm
Next
not
episode.
insulting EAs. I'm just
Okay. Okay.
pointing out.
Good. Good. I'm glad because
There's
next
something there's
episode.
something rotten in the state of Denmark, but not all Denmarkians are bad people. Like there's a
Kind of
distinction
you, I
there.
think.
Huh?
Episode 48.
Reincarnation?
Yeah. Or Bhumis, actually. It was the 10 Bhumis.
Oh yeah, Tim Boomies. I still don't really super remember that.
I
We
did.
should like do a course on Buddhism. Like, why aren't we like putting all this stuff together and doing like this proper course?
Yeah, that's an interesting idea because I mean, I have just so many books in my head and so many different maps of the different aspects of Buddhism that
That's the
it's just
problem. I
what.
figured this out. You're not doing the concentration thing, like the object level focus. See, that's why I want to do this course so that we can both do it together and we can get through
Okay.
this, and then
Okay.
we'll be able to do
What do you mean
everything
I'm
we
not
want.
doing the concentration? I just jump from model to model as needed. Is that what you're calling jumping around?
Like, what's in common?
Well, it's all Buddhism, or it's like not all maps fit together perfectly, but they like take different
Yeah,
angles on the
no.
similar elephant.
No, because you're like okay, if you're doing models to models, there's this thing, like there's this phenomenon, and
Mm.
then I'm gonna use all these models to like deal with it. Which first off, I think you rely too much on stuff you know.
Like too much
I think
knowledge rather than experience. I agree.
yeah,
I
like
definitely
versus
do
like
that.
yeah.
I definitely do that. I'm working on like dropping the models and being more of a like lived experience type of thing.
Oh, let's do this course. Can I put this course together for you and you do it?
I'm not promising to do a course that I think might be shit. So you can put the course together and then I'll tell you if I do it or not based on like
Um,
I'm willing to look at the course. I'm not willing to
Well, you
promise to
helped
do
me
it.
design it, so it
Okay.
can't be that shit.
Okay. Okay. All right.
I need some help with some of the stuff. The stuff you did, I
Okay. All
realized I'm
right.
like,
We can
I
talk
actually
more
don't know
about
how
the
to
course.
do that. Yeah,
So the 10
whatever.
boomies, I still use the 10 boomies, particularly the later boomies that seem to describe weird and unusual territory of experience. I'm like, okay, if that's what cool wizard beings feel like, I'm gonna like try and tune into that and be more open to that stuff.
I don't
So
know.
I still use this
I,
map boomies.
I think about the rain one a lot because
The
that's the 10th one, right?
uh
It's
the
like a rain falling on everything.
like a cloud rains down. Yeah, yeah, the 10th one.
Yeah. So like I feel like that often where it's just like when I'm like really like in the zone on like flow, it's like my goodness just rains down everywhere.
Right, right, right. I mean, the way that I would throw anyone into this is like, think of your favorite person in the world, or like, think of a Frankenstein of all of the favorite moments you've ever had in interacting with people, and how great you feel about all of the like the greatest moments of times you spent with people. Right. That is the like, you want to be a rain cloud raining the Dharma down on everyone. Have that attitude towards every single person you ever meet. Right. That's
Yeah.
like, yeah, which I know I don't, and like I'd want to, but that's like a high bar for having a positive relationship with everyone, even your worst enemy. Like hold that positive relationship even with them.
So actually, yeah, so actually it's I started doing with myself. Like that's my relationship with
Including with
myself.
yourself. Yeah, good.
And
Okay,
so wherever I am, it's like, well, I'm here now. So this is and like this is everything.
cool.
And so like all
Yeah,
the
okay.
goodness is here. Like
That's
wherever I look, there's goodness, where goodness rains down.
mm,
Wherever I've been, goodness has rain has happened.
mm,
But that's only like when I'm like I'm not like that permanently. It's been
mm.
unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, who is? All right.
I think it's possible.
It's possible, it's just rare.
Yeah.
All right, next
Cessation,
episode.
death, internal voice, tarot. Is this post
Hmm?
your America trip?
Uh
No, because we would have had
Cessation, Death, Internal Voice Terror, episode 49.
yeah, that's what we're up to, right?
Uh
Oh yeah, cessation.
oh man.
Cessation is the thing I think about a lot as well.
Do you have
I think
cessation?
I experience it sometimes, yeah.
Okay.
It's sort of like I had this experience where there was like it felt like time skipping.
Okay.
And then it felt like each moment was just independent, like its own moment. And there was no connection
Okay.
to the one before and
That
after.
sounds like a little bit of the hallmarks of much of when people talk about cessation, they talk about it afterwards, and it's known by its absence. So time skipping is kind of a way to describe an absence of something.
Yeah. Yeah, like that happens sometimes. And then like the trick is to not panic. And then what happens and then but I think I get like a little weird because I get I'm just like this moment, this moment, this moment, this moment. And then like sometimes people get like stuck in the past. They're like, oh, but how do all these things connect? It's like, I don't know. Like, why are you asking me? I didn't create the universe.
Mm. Um,
I'm just saying the truth of now.
oh, we talked about Jeffrey Martin here, DSM. Nice. There's a whole
TSM.
bunch of stuff in this one, episode 49. I'm looking at Reiki.
Yeah, so I do tarot. I do tarot like whenever I carry my tarot deck now because like sometimes I end up in parties that are boring, and so I use the tarot deck because it makes it very interesting.
I actually know another couple of people who do that too.
It's my casual carry.
Right. I used to carry juggling balls. I used to carry a whole circus bag. Eventually, I realized that like those are all crutches, and if I was going to have bad time at a party, I would have bad time even with the bag, which was very frustrating. I had to like work through it a different way.
Yeah. So it's interesting because like there's this party I used to go to. I guess I still sometimes go to. It's like regular, and it was like boring. So then I was like, then I was bringing the tarot and trying to do that. And then I found I was like trying to get people to do tarot with me just because I was like so bored.
Right.
Um, I don't go to those. I don't really go
Well,
to that
that's
anymore.
good.
I feel bad because like technically like oh, they're my friends and this and that. Like it's like a whole thing. It's like I'm
Well,
ditching them because they're boring, but like they don't listen to me. And I'm like, let's like there's all these things we could do to make it interesting, and like nobody will do it. So like what the hell? Like they're stuck in their ways and they won't update. So
all right, episode 50.
it's very frustrating. I don't know why I'm yelling.
Oh, yeah, heaps of stuff.
Yeah, Eliot travels in America.
Yeah.
Dude, that's when we met for the first time in real life.
Yeah.
I think the only time.
Yep.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was a super fun trip. We went to Niagara Falls.
Mm.
You
Went
were
to
in
Lilydale.
America, and we went to America as well. It was I think my first time
Hmm.
being on the American side of Niagara Falls. And we did the boat trip, and we did it with my eldest. We
Hmm.
went twice because he loved it.
Hmm.
Oh man, he's a badass. Such a badass.
Mm.
Such a badass baby. Like people think I'm like abusing him. But I'm like, no, he wants to do this. Like he's dragging me along.
Mm.
And he has so much fun, and then he wants to go again.
Mm.
Yeah, we went
Yeah.
twice, and there was like this guy and had a picture. Yeah, oh man, that was good times.
America was a fascinating place, like the whole of
And
America.
you were all like, squirrels are so cool.
Yeah, because there are no squirrels here.
Oh my God.
Mm.
I love making fun of people who think
Oh
squirrels are cool.
yeah.
Squirrels
Oh,
are cool though.
I think the
I had
next
a squirrel
episode
friend last year.
we talked about Lilydale. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Lily.
went to Lilydale. That was
Okay,
super
so that was
fun.
that was this is before Lilydale sort of thing. Mm.
No, this. Oh, so that would have been. I think Lilydale we did its own,
It's on
like
a
had its own
yeah, September
episode.
9th. Yeah, yeah. So
Because Lilydale was like crazy.
yeah, it was weird. Mm.
Oh, we should start next episode with Lilydale.
That's what happened.
Oh, and the peristalsis of attention. Oh my God, yeah.
Is this
Yeah, this is
your
like when
favorite?
stuff started getting really good.
Ah,
Interesting.
okay. I mean, so this is a thread. I mean, we've been doing this thread. Like it's nice to go over our history and really like travel through the thread of what we've been talking about for like close to that would have been like 9 months, I guess. September 2022, and we started in December 2021. So yeah, about 8, 9 months, 9 months.
Yeah. I like that we do this. And we don't like stream regularly necessarily, but we do
Uh,
meet.
yeah, that's
We
true.
do
Yeah, yeah,
we do meet regularly, and we do like try
yeah.
to work on stuff.
I mean, there's reasons. Like when we plan stuff like the courses, we didn't stream for a week or two because we were like trying to put a thing together. But we
Yeah.
did.
Yeah. So it still feels like we're working on this stuff, even if we're not doing that work.
Mm.
Um yeah, because even at the beginning it was like we would spend like hours like just trying to get the technical stuff done and um like figure it out and try to get like oriented and like that's still like all part of it. I think like yeah, I guess like the first 50 episodes is really us like
Getting into the groove,
it's us like being together.
and also like
Like
placing some foundations, like the 10 Fetters and the Bhumis and the
yeah. Yeah.
yeah, putting some solid concepts down.
Yeah.
I actually somehow thought we had even more concepts on the ground. Maybe we got to go back to basics for a while.
I would love to. I would love to do like the chorus. Like there's no reason why we shouldn't
Sure. Of
like
course,
we
it's
should put a course together. I'm sick of this. Let's just put a course together because like the
it's
problem
hard
is
to
like
put a course together.
we have to sit and work on it and we have to like commit to doing it and
Yeah,
like actually do it.
yeah, it's hard work.
It's hard and like stuff keeps coming up in life.
Yeah, it's okay.
Because I'm moving next week, so I'm like, oh, let's do it. But like, oh, sorry, this week I'm moving, so like, who knows how like that's gonna go?
Yeah, let's do it. All right, next episode we'll do the other 50 of our trip.
Yeah, the
There's
other
also a
50
lot of
get.
guests, so it might be easier or it might be harder to talk about because it's very hard to summarize guests.
Oh, it's very easy to summarize, guys.
I don't know about that. We got whole people in front. Anyway, we also got like
Yeah.
the
I'm not
nice
saying
thing
they
about
like the way
the
they get
next 50 is
summarized.
that they are more recent in memory, so we can talk about them maybe a bit clearer.
Yeah. Um, yeah, it felt like there was like, I guess it did feel like a transition when we met, I guess.
Mhm.
Because like there was also like there was like a transfer. There was like an energy transfer.
Mm.
I mean like we did like I guess the hormones and stuff.
Oh, like in person you were talking about.
Yeah, so there's in person. And then I remember Serene did the tarot. So like I do tarot now because that got transmitted to me,
Yeah, nice.
which I wasn't able to do before.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think people are different in person. It's amazing. Like I'll work with someone for 6 or 12 months online, and then they're different in person. Super interesting.
Yeah. Gotta be like a psychotechnology of in person versus
I would love to work on the problem of how to feel the embodied presence of being in person when you're only online with people. It's a really hard thing to do. And like I get a bit and I'm probably better than most people at it, but I still feel such a deficit online versus in person. There's just so much more to be with when in person with someone.
Yeah, I think the advantage is you get to be more with yourself. So like I'm pretty sure my personality is different in person than online.
Mm,
Like in person, I'm much more, I get like more caught in things. Like people
interesting.
influence me a lot more. Because
Hmm.
like I can just close my eyes and you're gone.
Oh, right, online, right? Because like there's visual and there's auditory information. There isn't like presence and physicality and like
Yeah, and I can turn you up and down as well.
turn the volume
So like
down.
yeah, so like everybody's the same volume for me online because if you're quiet, I'll just turn you up, and if you're loud, I'll turn you down. But
Right,
in person, it's like I can't just shut you up. I can just turn down your volume. There
right.
are times like with my brother, I just want to turn down your volume. Like
Very nice.